Have you ever heard a melody and somehow felt like you knew it, even though you couldn't recall from where?
Damn!
That's not déjà vu, that's design. And today, we're flying straight into one of the most intricately woven soundtracks in gaming history. Undertale by Toby Fox. I'm your humble host, Kaepo, caretaker of the Note Roost here on the Curiosity Bop. Welcome to my library and our very first episode. Let's get to it. This is no ordinary soundtrack. Toby Fox composed over 100 tracks, but nearly all of them are stitched together from just 21 leitmotifs. These are short, recurring musical phrases, each tied to a character, a theme, a tragedy, or a truth you haven't faced yet. Let's begin where all things do. Once upon a time.
I got you, homie!
This is the game's main theme. First heard in the opening cinematic and title screen, but it echoes through at least 16 tracks. It reappears in the menu, the save points, the jetpack game, the hotel, even in emotional climaxes like Final Power and Bring It In, Guys. This melody is the emotional nucleus of the game. It makes the world feel whole, even as it tears you apart. Then comes a sharp turn. We meet Flowey.
Okay.
His theme, Your Best Friend, is deceptively sweet, but harsh beneath the surface. It's rigid, no vibrato, full volume square waves. But when Flowey's true identity is revealed as Ezreal, the long-lost prince, his leitmotif begins to soften and evolve. In Hopes and Dreams and Save the World, you hear the same theme, now playful, like two children sparring in a dream. That's what a leitmotif does best. It doesn't just return. It remembers, like circling back to the same branch year after year, carrying a different song each season. We then descend into the home of Toriel and hear her theme in Heartache. It's warm and maternal, but also hesitant, protective. You hear it only in her battle and the end of the true pacifist route. That sparseness gives it power. When it plays again at the end, it's like the scent of a familiar blanket, carried back on the wind. It tells you she still cares. And then we come to a theme many mistake for the runes, but I like to call it what it truly is: determination. This motif first appears in runes, but echoes through Waterfall, Hotland, and especially through Undyne's theme. It's a quiet fire, urging you forward even when things fall apart. In the neutral ending, it plays somberly, almost like it's urging you to try again. In Battle Against True Hero, it burns fiercely through Undyne's final stand, especially in the genocide route, where it becomes a musical testament to her willpower. Speaking of Undyne, her leitmotif is a masterclass of rhythmic transformation. Her presence first stomps into the soundtrack with Undyne and yeah, slow and methodical, but also advancing. When she's chasing you, it becomes run, speeding the motif into a breathless gallop. Her first theme, Spear of Justice, shifts into a 6/8 time, chaotic and heroic, stumbling forward like a raging bull. But in the genocide route, Battle Against True Hero opens in 4/4, tight and focused, then breaks into a mournful 3/4 waltz. It's as if she's seeing her own death coming, but stepping forward anyway. Later, Mettaton Neo reuses her motif in Power of Neo, but stripped of purpose, it fizzles. Bravado without backbone. Toby Fox is known for his beautiful music. I'd really love to know your favorites. Any of his songs move you at the perfect moment? Please, tell us about it in the comments.
It's payback time.
Next, we encounter the humble but unforgettable enemy approaching motif. Used in nearly every normal encounter, it first appears in enemy approaching, stronger monsters, and anticipation. But it's also hiding in odd places: Dog Song, Temmie Village, even the twisted amalgam tracks. It gives a strange unity to your journey, reminding you that even the small monsters have their place in the symphony. It's the trail mix of the soundtrack. Every little piece matters, even the raisins you pretend not to like. Now, we tiptoe into haunted territory. The spooky leitmotif, introduced in Ghost Fight, connects Napstablook, Mad Dummy, and Muffet. It's jazzy, filled with swing rhythm, upright bass, and mischievous phrasing. Dummy distorts and repeats parts of it erratically, like he's losing control of his own theme. Spider Dance takes the motif into Baroque territory, using harpsichord and frantic tempo to turn the haunted house into a circus. Though Muffet isn't a cousin like the others. Musically, she's in the family. Yes, even webs and wings share a place in this roost. Let's return to Heartache, because this theme has two bearers. It belongs to Toriel, yes, but it also echoes in Asgore during the king's final battle. That same gentle melody becomes fierce and pained when wielded by a grieving father. It bridges the rift between them. One lost her child and hid away. The other lost his child and started a war. And just before that fight, you die. Many times, perhaps. When you do, you see phrases like, "Stay determined." But what you're reading is Asgore's voice. The game over lines are pulled from tape 5 in the True Lab, where he comforts a dying child, Chara. It's the same text, same tone. The game over leitmotif appears again in Bergentruken, right before his theme erupts. We're not just fighting a king. You're fighting a man who already buried 2 children. Let's breathe. Now, Sans. His leitmotif is introduced in Sans, a lazy trombone line that barely climbs beyond its comfort zone. But in It's Raining Somewhere Else, the motif reappears as a noir piano ballad. Melancholic, detached, weary. He's not just comic relief. He's carrying knowledge he shouldn't have, and the music carries it with him. Contrast that with Papyrus, whose motif is as bold and ridiculous as he is. You hear it in "Yeah, Bone Trussle," and even in Song That Might Play When You Fight Sans, an unused track that may suggest they were meant to fight together. Brothers in bones, and, maybe, once, in battle. Wider still, there's a theme that isn't tied to any one face. The melody from Snowdon Town and Shop is actually the monster leitmotif. It plays in shops across the underground, in Royal Guard confessions, during your victory lap, even in the Azrael fight. It's gentle, peaceful, the sound of community, a reminder of what you're fighting for. But then the calm fades. The Omega Flowey motif, first heard in your best nightmare, is nothing more than 2 3-note patterns. But when repeated with intensity, they become sonic violence. The melody first whispers to you in an ending, as Sans mentions a strange flower. It spirals into chaos during Flowey's boss fight, and returns in finale during the Azrael fight. It's the sound of losing control, of being completely, utterly powerless. The kind of feeling that makes you want to fluff your feathers and take cover. Here's where things get clever. Spooktune, yes, the silly melody from Napstablook's house, reappears in Metal Crusher, Mettaton's 8-bit boss theme. That's no accident. It confirms he's part of the Ghost family. Napstablook, Mad Dummy, Mettaton. You can discover this in the game's hidden lore. Or you can just listen. The music reveals the truth. Consider it an Easter egg you don't even have to crack open. Next comes Alphys. Her leitmotif is introduced in Alphys, which constantly changes time signature. It stumbles forward in 3s, then 4s, then 6s. Clumsy, nerdy, just like her. But in the True Lab, her theme becomes Here We Are. Dark, mechanical. Same melody, new horror. Even the rhythm now reflects cold calculation, not insecurity. The music has adapted, just like she has. Mettaton's showbiz persona arrives with Showtime, which you'll hear during newscasts, cooking shows, and game shows. The bass line resurfaces in Hotel, but laid back. It's easy listening, but when it ramps into Death by Glamour, the energy explodes. Same motif, new tempo, Same notes, different universe. His original ghost self, which fans call Hapstablook, gets a theme too. First in Oh, Dungeon, then in She's Playing Piano. It's silly, awkward, but after Mettaton's boss fight, that same melody plays again. This time, it's quiet, honest. It's the only moment you hear who he was before the spotlight. Some songs stand apart. The seasonal menu themes like Ooh-Wah, So Temperate, or Dog Bass exist mostly for flavor. They don't connect. And then there's the titan, Megalovania. As famous as it is, Megalovania is musically isolated. It carries no leitmotifs from the rest of the game. That's intentional. The genocide route is a rupture. It's meant to feel alien, detached, wrong. And this theme, pulled from Toby's old Earthbound hack, drives that home. It's the musical equivalent of finding a cuckoo egg in your own nest. It doesn't belong, and that's exactly why it stands out. But one final secret remains. In Last Goodbye, the final credits song, Toby plays live piano, and if you overlay the vocals of Don't Forget from Deltarune, it fits perfectly. No edits. Same tempo and key, hidden in plain sound. Is it a coincidence? Or the first thread in a much larger web? For now, we know this. Toby Fox didn't just write music. He wove a memory system. Leitmotifs became emotional bridges, connecting friends, family, past, and future. With just 21 themes, he created one of the most emotionally cohesive soundtracks in gaming history. And that is the magic of Motif. We hope you enjoyed watching. If you thought this video was a real hoot, or if you love Toby Fox, subscribe now and don't miss out. Once again, I am your host, Kaepo, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Curiosity Bop. Until next time, traveler, keep listening, keep bopping, and don't forget to keep a snack handy for the long flight. Ta-ta!